staying now on BBC One as the quest begins to find the world's strongest man, 2002.
For centuries, men have sailed the Malacca Straits off Malaysia, seeking to become the most powerful in Southeast Asia. But now, there's a whole new battle for supremacy. The Metrex Trophy for the world's strongest man will be contested this year in Kuala Lumpur, the capital of Malaysia. And these are the Petronas Towers, the tallest buildings on Earth, 88 stories high, 452 metres reaching into the sky. The ultimate symbol of Malaysia's surge to economic prosperity in Southeast Asia. In this city, right here, right now, size is everything. One of the annual highlights of the Malay sporting calendar is a race up the KL Tower. 421 metres from bottom to top, 1,850 steps, and the winner usually does it in around 10 minutes. But down amongst the urban, sprawling mass of Kuala Lumpur are 30 men for whom strength and not speed is the key. From Austria to Australia they've come, from Hawaii to Iceland, in search of the biggest prize in strongman sport. As ever, 5 heats of 6 athletes, the top 2 in each to go through to the final. And let's now meet the first 6 contestants from Heat 1.
Magnus Samuelsson, Sweden, 32 years old, 2 meters tall, 150 kilos.
Derek Boyer from Australia, 33 years old, 192 centimeters tall, 140 kilos.
Anne Minkwitz, Denmark, 32 years, 199 centimeters, 142 kilos.
Nigel Moss, South Africa, 34 years old, 1.91 meters, 123 kilos.
Steve Curran, Pennsylvania, USA, 29 years old, 6 foot 2 inches tall, 143 kilos.
Greg Edmonds, Scotland, 25 years of age, 194 centimeters tall, 120 kilos.
This is Merdeka Square, and it was here 45 years ago that Malaysia ended its links with its colonial past and declared independence. And it's here that we start Heat 3 with the carry and drag. Carry those 2 anvils, 120 kilograms each, that's 265 pounds. Halfway, put them down, drag this huge anchor, 265 kilograms, that's 660 pounds, all the way to the end of the course. Now for Gregor Edmonds, it's his first World's Strongest Man as a competitor, but your dad's been running this event for years, so what sort of inside information have you got on what it takes to be a strong man?
Well, as you say, I've seen a lot of it done over the past few years, and as you say, this is now World's, not Britain's, so it's a lot harder. So I'm hoping I can do as good as I did at the British. It's as good as I can do.
Well, you were runner-up there. Realistically, what are your hopes here, do you think?
Realistically, it's the World's. It's my first one. Who knows what can happen? Well, I think breakfast is not quite settled, so nerves are going now. But whether it's the World's Strongest or Scotland's Strongest, or even smaller competitions, the feeling's the same. You just get on with it and do your best.
So it all starts here. Describing the action as ever, Paul Dickinson.
It's early in the morning here, but the temperature's zooming up towards the 40s. And the first competitor, formerly of Fiji, now representing Australia, Derek Boyer, unbeaten for 4 years in his native Australia. The newcomer now, Nigel Moss from South Africa, the giant policeman from Pretoria. Good moment for him as well. And Gregor Edmonds, his father, standing behind. Dougie Edmonds, the referee. But Gregor Edmonds representing Scotland. Now the giant Magnus Samuelsson, the former champion, but nursing a big, big tear in his bicep.
Yeah!
But psyched up as always, going to be tough to beat. René Minkvist, a former finalist in World's Strongest Man, representing Denmark. And finally, another newcomer from the United States, the US champion this year, Steve Kirrett. He didn't win an event in the US Championships, but he was so consistent. Well, I just wonder how they're going to get on. These giant anvils, almost the equivalent of a small motorcycle carried in each arm halfway down the course. So here we go, the very first event in this year's World's Strongest Man. And Samuelsson is off to a flyer. What a start for the giant Swede. Looking for Gregor Edmonds, he's struggling just a little bit at the moment. Coming through into about 4th place, next to Samuelsson, and it's Samuelsson who's away. Almost down and out there, the Swede. And coming up fast is René Minkvist. Slow and steady for Gregor Edmonds on this side. Steve Kirrett, the newcomer from the United States, being overtaken by Minkvist, and on the far side, Boyer's going well. But Samuelsson, all eyes on the former champion. He's got a couple of meters to go. That anchor has to cross the line. The anchor and chain weighing a massive 285 kilos, and Samuelsson wins the opening event. There's a 75-second time limit on this. The clock ticking away. Samuelsson just walks away. So dominant in this opening event. Can Edmonds come through? On this side, Minkvist. On the far side, Boyer. That's the American Kirrett. Still big points to be won and lost. And there's the whistle. I think Gregor Edmonds in about 3rd or 4th place. But no doubt about the winner, Samuelsson, who's absolutely down and out. Phenomenal performance, but the heat taking its toll, not just on Edmonds, but on everybody else. René Minkvist absolutely flat out, finding it difficult to even stand. I think he finished in 2nd place. What a start to this year's competition, no doubt about the winner. But what about the rest?
How you doing?
I think I'll live. Just.
How hard was that?
That's a big shock to the system. Always is, first event, you don't realise how heavy things are until suddenly you've got to do it.
But 3rd, happy with that?
Well, I got 4th in the British, so that should be good, eh? I'm happy. It was one of my weaker events, so 3rd can't be bad. I can really feel it now. My legs were totally gone. Couldn't breathe, so I was just looking. I know Magnus was winning, but I was looking for 2nd place. Oh, I'm happy. That's the worst one.
Well, boy, was it hard. Magnus may have won it, but he wasn't too forthcoming in the immediate aftermath. Here's confirmation that it was 6 points for the Swede, Minkvist 2nd, and a good start for Gregor Edmonds. It took 10 minutes or so for Samuelsson to come up with his post-race thoughts.
It surprised me that the drag was so difficult and so hard, but end of the day I won it, so I'm pleased.
And you know, you're like a fixture in this competition. Every year, here you are, year on year on year. How would you assess your form this year compared to last? Because you've had a lot of injuries, haven't you?
Yeah, I've been lucky. Through my career, I always stayed in one piece. 5 months ago, I pulled my bicep off and had to reattach it. And everybody said I was over and out for a long time. So I just have to prove them wrong. So for the first time, I haven't really thought as much about how this contest will do. I'm just here to prove everybody that I'm not dead yet. And I think this will get them the message.
44 degrees and rising. Close your eyes, you could almost be in Scotland. And this next event will be more at home in Kirkcaldy or Kilmarnock than it would in Kuala Lumpur, because it's taken straight out of the Highland Games, making its debut in World's Strongest Man, the weight throw. Now, Gregor, you've been brought up with this kind of event, so tell us, what's the secret to this?
It's going from the biggest muscles, which is in your bottom and legs, and you pull with them. The weight comes up, up, up. You pull like a power clean, but you keep pulling until it's fingertips, smallest muscles, the fast ones, you let it go.
Well, this should be a demonstration at the opening height for Gregor Edmonds. Certainly, in terms of experience, he could do very, very well here. 4 meters 10, just a shade over 13 feet. And if you can imagine going on holiday with a 25-kilogram suitcase, that's the weight that goes over. And that was a superb demonstration. Good start by the Scot. Terrific technique.
Well, this was the opening height, and clearly they don't do this sort of thing too often in Fiji or Australia. Because for Derek Boyer, a real veteran of World's Strongest Man for many years, it was a height too far. Maybe they don't do it too often on the high felt either. At 4 meters 50, it was the end for the South African.
I see the guys who have done it before. They know the technique. There's a secret to everything we do, and they know the secret I don't, but I'll find it out some other time, and I'll come back and give them a hiding.
Magnus Samuelsson may have won the first event, and he was optimistic about this one, until at 4 meters 70, it was the end for the Swede. Gregor Edmonds, perhaps surprisingly, got to 4 meters 80 and then called it quits. But on dark nights in Pennsylvania, they love nothing more than throwing huge weights over bars. Steve Kirrett, tremendously impressive there, and René Minkvits at 4 meters 90, just too easy for him. So the main points in event 2 still up for grabs.
So just 2 competitors left now. This is Kirrett of the United States of America, 16 feet 4. You will understand that better than 5 meters. And this is a big height for both men left in, and that's a first failure for the American. 2 attempts allowed. He's got to go straight back in. Now then, a long, steady swing. Then the giant lift by the legs and the back, and finally by the arms and shoulders. Oh, that's even worse. So now he has to wait for René Minkvist, the only competitor left in who can take maximum points. So here is Minkvits of Denmark, the former finalist. Nobody has managed to negotiate this height of 5 meters. It's a prodigious height, 25 kilograms the weight. It looks small, but believe me, it's heavy. But that is good, he's done it. Maximum points for Denmark. And another third place for Gregor Edmonds, although I think Gregor will be a little bit disappointed with his height. He's done better than that. But look at this, the victory dance now, and maximum points for Minkvits.
So a good win for the Great Dane, the American in second. Gregor Edmonds third place once again, but for Derek Boyer, no points at all. He failed to clear a single height, and he and Nigel Moss finding themselves tailed off a bit. With 4 in contention, though, this could be a very interesting heat.
Pulse of one of Kuala Lumpur's busiest streets beating a little bit slower at the moment because they've closed the main road to allow the Fingal's Fingers to take place. 5 huge rods of iron weighing between 200 and 300 kilograms to be lifted up and pushed over as quickly as possible. Now this looks different this year from previous times because the 2 guys are going to go alongside each other, so it's a race from start to finish.
There's the new course layout at Bin Tang Walk in downtown KL. And there is René Minkvits alongside Steve Kirrett of the United States of America. So let's have a look at the technique. Up to the chest, and then straight arms, a straight body, and you've got to try and keep the legs straight as well, as Minkvist just goes into the lead. Of course, as fatigue sets in, the technique is going to falter, that's for sure. 2 over each, and going well, but it's still Minkvits just in the lead by about half a second on that last one. And with number 3. This next one, 275 kilos, that's over 500 pounds. So here we go, it's neck and neck all the way, but both men struggling just a wee bit. We've seen plenty of competitors in the past go 5 and complete the course, but not this time. And I think these two guys will be disappointed.
But both got their 3 fingers up in under 30 seconds, which was more than Derek Boyer could manage. And Nigel Moss of South Africa was even slower with his 3.
Well, what a head-to-head now for Gregor Edmonds up against the former champion. And when Magnus Samuelsson hasn't won a final, he's always been so close. He's one of the most experienced competitors in the world, but the Scot has gone into the lead. What a good start by Gregor. Well, it's often said that in this event, if you're tall, it's an advantage. Samuelsson a shade taller than Gregor Edmonds, who's over 6 feet 4 inches. And now Samuelsson's coming back. They've both done 3. They're certainly faster than either Kerrit or Minkvist. This is a fantastic head-to-head, but the Scot just blowing and puffing at the moment. Can he do 5? Samuelsson looks as though he could be heading for victory once again. And Samuelsson has done it. It looks so easy, but what a performance by Gregor Edmonds as well. He's going to pick up a 2nd place. Tremendous points.
But you were determined not to get beaten by him, weren't you?
Once I get going, and I felt that I had no problem with it, I gave it my all, and luckily I catched him in the end. But Gregor is very good on this, so I'm pleased with my performance.
And are you pleased with yours?
Of course. To me, neck and neck and actually in front at one stage. Well, this man's quite something, injury or not. I'm happy with that, of course I am.
So Samuelsson, with the aid of a cold sponge at the end, looking like the champion he once was, and Gregor Edmonds showing why he is Scotland's strongest man, and Gregor now just 2 points behind the joint leaders. Now, contrary to what you might think, this is not just all about brawn. There's some brain in there too.
There's a lot of talking and talking each other down, hyping each other up. You know, there's a lot of mind games going as well, but I think I'm quite good at them.
The Presidential Palace in Putrajaya, the centrepiece of what will be the most modern city in the world when it's completed in 2010, housing 350,000 people. The international airport's over there, the Formula One racetrack over there. But eat your heart out, Schumacher and Barrichello. Anybody can drive a car up a hill, but how many people do you know who can pull one up one?
Well, Derek Boyer could. He got to the end of the course in 28.01 seconds, but it was too much for Nigel Moss, who only made it as far as 22.55 metres.
What a performance it's been so far by Gregor. He's in 3rd place, behind Magnus Samuelsson and René Minkvist. But he's up against Steve Kerrit in this heat. Well, 1,500 kilograms the car weighs. It looks pretty easy when they get started, but then it gets so hard after about 10 metres when they have to start going uphill. And this is a real sprint by Gregor. Now the slope kicks in. You've got to stay low. You've got to keep pulling with the arms, driving with the legs. And the American is gaining on the Scot just a little bit. Can he keep it going? Can he keep the time going? Yes, he can! That is a good time by Gregor Edmonds, 22.8 seconds. And Steve Kerrit stops at 26.5. Well done to both of them.
Well, you put the pressure on, haven't you?
I hope so. I hope that's good enough.
Last 10 metres, how hard was that?
It was actually a lot easier than I thought it would be. I'm used to pulling trucks, and I'm used to pushing my father's trucks at his old dairy, because they weren't the best fleet of trucks, so I find it quite easy.
Well, I wonder how these two guys will find it. Magnus Samuelsson on this side, nearest the camera. That's Minkvist. And Samuelsson and Minkvist locked together on 15 points. And look at this, they're sprinting away. Now the cars start to go uphill, but this is still fantastic stuff. The giant arms of Samuelsson, but can he beat the Dane? It's going to be so close. Right at the finish, Minkvits just gets it. Oh, that was fantastic. And they're both under 20 seconds, and that means Edmonds finishes third.
That was very important for you because Gregor was getting a little bit close, wasn't he?
Too close. But now I think I have 4 points or something. It's nice.
A contented smile for the Dane, a second victory for him. Samuelsson in second place, Edmonds in third, and what that means is the 3 of them are pulling clear of the rest. Gregor is snapping at the Swede's heels. Here's the old stager to sum up the state of play with 2 events to go.
3 points is a lot of points if everything goes well, but then again, if you do a bad mistake, 3 points is nothing.
The British motorcycle legend Carl Fogarty launches his Petronas team this year, so fittingly, beneath the Petronas towers in a country obsessed by motorsport, 2 motorbikes could well determine who gets to the final of this year's World's Strongest Man. It's the Basque Circle. The bikes weigh 300 kilograms, that's 660 pounds, and they have to be carried on the forearms as often as possible around this circle. And for Gregor Edmonds, this really is a must-win event, isn't it?
Yep, if I stand any chance of the final, I've got to win this one. So, all guns blazing. I need to do it now.
Well, even in the stifling heat, all the contestants managed to take those bikes a pretty reasonable distance. First of all, Boyer, then Moss, and Steve Kirrett, look at the pain on his face, the best to date, 83.9 metres.
Well, they do say one of the things that's required to get through to the final is consistency, and when you look at Gregor's performances so far, 3 third places and a second, he's still there, but he could do with a victory. So 6 feet 4.5, knocking on the door of 20 stones in body weight. It's his father, Dougie Edmonds, who says, get ready and lift, and away we go. 30 metres around, and it's a great target that's been set by the American Steve Kirrett. Those 2 mopeds weighing in at 300 kilograms. 30 metres gone. Good speed. It's to be steady, not fast. That's the secret. Jamie Reeves standing in the background there, former world's strongest man, keeping a watchful eye on Gregor Edmonds, who's trained so hard as he goes past the 60-metre mark. And this is coming up towards the lead. The Scot has done it. He's in the lead now. 90 metres gone. He's got to put as much distance between himself and that mark as possible. We've still got Samuelsson and Minkvits to go. This is fantastic. Over 100 metres. Brilliant stuff by Gregor Edmonds. 110 metres, but he's got to wait now. And what a crucial wait it might be.
Samuelsson's very good at this, so I hope that's rubbed him up the wrong way. I hope it does something to his confidence.
Well, it certainly might, having seen that performance by Gregor Edmonds. But what about this bicep tear that Magnus Samuelsson reportedly had 4 months ago? How will that affect his performance here? The Swedish newspapers almost wrote off his chances before he even got here. So he's determined to show them he's still in shape and he's still one of the best. Looking a little bit unsteady as Samuelsson, but it's good speed, a little bit faster than Edmonds. But speed is not important. He's got that plastic strip across his nose. It's supposed to help the breathing. And he's coming up towards 3 revolutions now, so still looking pretty good. Oh, he's struggling a bit at the moment. He's down. So he's in second place, just ahead of Steve Kirrett. But Edmonds still a long way in the lead. 1 competitor to go.
I'm safe today if I can get 1 third and 1 second place. And this is very dangerous for my bicep. So I can fight on maybe for another lap or so, but then I have to do all this stuff. And then you over-rotate the bicep and make the risk for injury sky high at this day. So another time, another place, and I will show them.
All eyes now on the Dane. But can he be the great Dane, René Minkvits? The only guy who can separate Gregor Edmonds from this maximum points in the penultimate event.
Lift and go.
Lift and go, says referee Dougie Edmonds. I wonder if secretly he's hoping Minkvits will not be able to go 3 and a bit times round. He's looking good for 30 metres, though. That's no problem at all. 30 metres gone, 1 revolution. Needs 2.5 more to go into the lead. Gregor Edmonds pacing around in the background, watching this intently, but Minkvits, I think, is he beginning to struggle? There's certainly stress in those eyes, and in the face, he's slowing dramatically. Surely this is victory for Scotland. Oh, this is dramatic. Minkvits is going to finish in last place. I can't believe it. Victory for Scotland, a dramatic turnaround in form in this second-to-last event.
Gregor Edmonds said he had to win that, and he did just that, emphatically too, 25 metres clear of the rest. But Minkvits coming last means suddenly Edmonds is in with a great chance of making it to the final. Minkvits, from appearing home and dry, now under pressure.
But no excuse, he was the best and he won, that's okay. But we still have one more event to go, so maybe if I'm lucky.
How do you view the stones now against Gregor?
I don't know how he is, but sometimes I'm really good, sometimes I'm not so good. So I hope I'm really good today.
Can you get 5 up?
I will do everything. It's win or die.
Win or die in the mother, or should that be the daddy of all strongman events? The 5 stones to be placed on the wall. The last one, 160 kilograms, will be crucial. You'd expect nothing less of Magnus Samuelsson, a former world's strongest man. He got all 5 stones up onto the wall in a time just over 30 seconds. A real show of strength. He's into the final, but the big question, who'd join in there?
Well, the arithmetic is very simple here. Gregor Edmonds on the left. If he beats René Minkvits, the Scot is through to the final. It's as simple as that. I tell you what, the atmosphere here is unbelievable. Minkvits has got a chance. Edmonds, in his first ever World's Strongest Man competition, has got a chance. But which one has got the bottle? Which one has got the technique? Gregor, a shade behind, but gets it up first. This is good for the Scot. Minkvits, not as tall as Edmonds. That could be a disadvantage, but such tremendous power. But it's still Edmonds in the lead. He's got it on his shoulder and just has to plonk it on top of that wall. Minkvits carrying it on his chest. Come on, number 4 for Scotland. Yes! Edmonds surely on his way to the final. If he can do number 5 ahead of Minkvits, he's got it. Minkvits is miles behind, and Gregor Edmonds is in the final at his very first attempt. Absolutely superb. Minkvits knows he's beaten. It's Gregor Edmonds for Britain and Scotland in the final.
First time in it and into the final. What does that mean to you, generally?
Well, it's not settled in yet, but it's great. I can say now I'm in the top 10 in the world. That's something that we don't say that.
I did my best, but I was beaten by a better man.
A truly immense performance by Gregor Edmonds. Second place there means that he and Magnus Samuelsson, a former champion, will go through to the final of the Metrex Trophy to find the world's strongest man. Gregor, many congratulations on getting to the final, and given your family's history in this event, you must be immensely proud. I tell you what, though, as a Scot, you'll appreciate this. Down in Chinatown, the most amazing bargains. I picked up 3 Rolexes for 10 quid each, but I'll let you have them for 8.
For your sake, John, I hope they're waterproof.
And so the world's strongest man circus moves to Malaysia. One of the enduring images of Southeast Asia is mile upon mile of palm tree and paddy field. Malaysia used to be self-sufficient in rice. Now they have to import 30% of their total national consumption. But in the same way that you'll always find there's an awful lot of coffee in Brazil, there's still a heck of a lot of rice in Malaysia. And much of it finds its way here to Chinatown in Kuala Lumpur, a frantic, kaleidoscopic, helter-skelter mixture of restaurants and shops in the heart of the oldest part of the capital. And Kuala Lumpur is very much a symbol of the new Malaysia, with its avowed aim of a place amongst the world's elite. Proud, strong, unstoppable.
As ever in the Metrex Trophy, there are 5 heats, 6 strong men in each, 6 events in each. The top 2 go through to the final. Already there, a Swede and a Scot, Gregor Edmonds. Let's meet the next 6 would-be finalists.
Brian Schoonveld from Indiana, USA, age 28, height 6'3", weight 153.5 kilos.
Heinz Ole from Germany, age 35, height 192, weight 152 kilos.
Raimonds Bergmanis from Latvia, age 36, height 1 meters 92, 139 kilos.
Juha-Matti Räsänen from Finland, age 28, height 1 meter 98, 132 kilos.
I'm Jano Harms from the Netherlands, age 27, height 1 meter 89, 135 kilos.
I'm Mark Paulin from Northampton, England, age 30, height 6 foot, weight 114 kilos.
Now, last year in Zambia, you were one of the British competitors. You come here as Britain's strongest man. Does that weigh heavily on your shoulders?
Well, it does. Last year I sort of got in through the back door, finishing 6th in the Britons, and this year, like, the experience I had from World Strongest Man last year helped me in good stead for the Britons, and obviously, you know, helped me to win it. And coming here this year, I think it just makes you feel more confident, really, coming with the title.
We start in Merdeka Square, the heart of colonial Kuala Lumpur, where Malaysia declared independence 45 years ago. And the history of strongman events tells you that a good start is essential. And make no mistake, it's
a real toughie to start with. Picking up these 2 giant anvils, 120 kilograms each, that's 265 pounds, and going just about this speed, actually, halfway down the course before putting them down here and then being confronted by this huge tyre to flip. Now, this weighs 400 kilograms. Wait for it, that is 880 pounds. Oh!
Over now to Paul Dickinson.
Well, John's going to have a little lie down after that. It's unbelievably hot and humid here for this competition. So difficult for all the competitors, including Heinz Ole, 35 years old, weighing in at a massive 152 kilograms. Mark Arliff, Britain's strongest man from Wellingborough in Northamptonshire. One of the lightest men here. I wonder if that's going to be a disadvantage. Jarno Hams from the Netherlands. He came into this competition for the 7-time champion, Bernd Vandenberg. Looking quiet. I wonder if he's confident. The Latvian Olympic weightlifting champion, Raimonds Bergmanis, at 36, the oldest man in this heat. The giant Juha Räsänen from Finland, nearly 6 feet 6 inches tall. Very, very athletic indeed. And finally, from the United States of America, he's won the American Championship twice in his career, Brian Schoonveld. The Americans always confident in their own ability, but this is hard. 120 kilos each anvil weighs.
Ready.
Away we go. The first chance to see Britain's strongest man in action on the far side, but Mark Eilif's struggling. He's in last place at the moment. It's Jarno Hams, followed by the Finn Räsänen. Bergmanis is going well too. Unfortunately, Mark Eilif falling way behind at this stage. Brian Schoonveld on this side, just ahead of Mark Eilif, but Bergmanis goes into the lead. This is a phenomenal competition. Bergmanis just at the moment. Räsänen and Hams, either side of the Latvian. And on the far side, Heinz Olesch as well. One more push will do it. Oh, I think Jarno Hams has come through. He sprints over the line. I think the Dutchman just pipped. Raimonds Bergmanis for second place. Schoonveld just finishing. Mark Eilif is going to finish in last place. But what a performance by Jarno Hams. Bergmanis second, and I think Juha-Matti Räsänen in third place. What a start, and what a disappointment for Britain's strongest man. Räsänen almost, but Jarno Hams just finishing ahead of the Latvian.
I saw how close it was. I just thought, just give it all. It's almost there. Just give it one final push, and I think it was enough.
That underlined the depth of competition, didn't it?
Yeah, I didn't really, in all honesty, I didn't really feel myself off the line. I weren't sure what I was going to be like, but with that farmer's walk, I just felt like no explosive power. Got to the tyre. I mean, we've done those tyres in the Britons. You know, they were flipping easy, but they just felt like dead weight, heavy flip. You know.
Disappointing start there.
It is very disappointing, really, yeah.
Flipping disappointing for Mark Eilif, you could say. Britain's strongest man only picking up 1 point there, but it was 40 degrees plus. That must have been a factor. Well, the action continues now in Merdeka Square, but we change venue to the cricket pitch.
Next up, it's a true test of a strong man. This is powerlifting by any other name. Lift this giant log weighing 120 kilograms, that's 265 pounds, onto your shoulders, then above your head and lock out, put it down. And when you've done with this one, there's a whole lot more to contend with, and they are a whole lot bigger.
Well, the weather got hotter and things got worse for Britain's strongest man, Mark Eilif. At the opening weight of 120 kilograms, the man from Northampton was forced to put it down. Juha-Matti Räsänen of Finland did better than that, but 150 kilograms was too much for him. And here's another failure. This time it's Jarno Hams from Holland, 160, too much for him. More successful, though, Heinz Olesch from Germany, 165 kilograms. Look at the pain and the power, but that was as far as he could go. Mind you, Brian Schoonveld of America made 165 kilograms look child's play, but perhaps surprisingly, he couldn't go any further either. They all had to give second best to Raimonds Bergmanis of Latvia. He was in a class of his own, 3 times an Olympic powerlifter. He was absolutely thrilled by this victory and ready to celebrate as he had done in the world final in America 6 years earlier.
Yeah, you remember after taking first place in Las Vegas, I jump in a pool with dress. I think it's maybe today it's the same.
Well, look, there's a pool just over there. Do you want to go and do that now?
Yeah.
Go on then.
So 6 points to the man from Latvia, the happy hippo, happy to win and happy to cool off. Olesch and Schoonveld sharing second spot, and this looks like being a really competitive heat, although for Mark Eilif, things looking pretty bleak already.
Well, KL is nothing if not a thoroughly modern city, and in the midst of its most busy shopping area, 5 huge rods of iron, the Fingal's fingers, to be lifted up and pushed over as quickly as possible. They weigh between 200 and 300 kilograms, that's 440 and 660 pounds. And talking of pushing, it's time that Juha made a push for some points if he's going to keep Finland's amazing record going in World's Strongest Man. This is a very important event for you, isn't it?
Yes, I need a lot of points, and I hope I can win this event.
How aware are you that Finland every year does very well in this, and now it is up to you?
Yeah,
It's a hard job now. I don't want to be worse than Jouko and Janne, and Finland need a new champion.
Juha-Matti Räsänen in the white. Bergmanis from Latvia in the blue. The time is important, but more importantly, in a way, is the technique and the ability to get every part of the body moving. That is light at 200 kilos. This a little heavier at 225. Still neck and neck, perhaps the Finn in the lead at the moment. Right down from the toes to the fingertips. You've got to be so strong. Rhythm is important as well. This is an unbelievable test of fortitude, of strength, of power, and of technique. Going well, both men. That is number 4 for Räsänen. Now, can he do 5? Not many people have managed that so far in single fingers, whether it's been in Britain's Strongest Man or World's Strongest Man. Räsänen's got a problem. He's even trying to use his head, my goodness. Bergmanis is catching. This is unbelievable. The tortoise and the hare. Can the Latvian win this one? Räsänen is finished. The time limit is 75 seconds, so he's got the time if he just keeps on leaning on this giant pole. 300 kilos, can he do it? 1, 2, he's running out of time. It's going to be a problem. He hasn't done it. The whistle has gone before it hit the deck. I think Bergmanis thinks he's got it, but I don't think the referee's going to give it to him. That seems so unfair after an enormous effort by this giant Latvian.
Very hard. It's my first experience in this event, and I've done before, but I did it, all 5 fingers. I'm happy, but I think not take it me 5. I missed the time limit. But I fight.
Mark Eilif was fighting a losing battle. 3 fingers for him in 35.09. Heinz Olesch of Germany, though, took the lead. An immense performance, all 5 up and over in just over 70 seconds.
It was my first time that I did it. I had some problems to lift them up. They were really slippery, but then I continued my rhythm and I got them all, so I'm pleased with it. I did everything I could, and that's the most important thing.
The American Brian Schoonveld wearing the black and Jana Hams in the orange.
Get ready!
The last pairing. Now, can anybody beat that phenomenal performance by the German Heinz Olesch? 70.03 for all 5. And these 2 guys off to a very quick start. Well, we've always talked about height being important here. If you're 6'5", 6'6", it really helps. These guys are nearer the 6-foot mark. And it's the American just in the lead. Schoonveld going well. He's wearing gloves. That is going to help with the grip. Brian Schoonveld, twice America's strongest man, not this year, but previously in his career, is going well. Jana Hams is stuck. Now, can he do number 5? This is a great performance. Brian Schoonveld. He's got about another, 45 degrees to go. Jana Hams is struggling. Jukka Ahola, former world's strongest man, behind with those tyres for safety. This is tremendous by Schoonveld. He's going to be just outside 60 seconds, but that is victory for the American. And that has made this heat wide open to see who goes through to the final.
Just come out and give it everything I got. You know, this is a tall man's event, and you know, not having the height like Magnus Samuelsson, Juha, Jani, all them guys. You know, they pick the fingers up and they're already halfway up. We got to work at it.
So victory for the pocket battleship from the US of A. Olesch in 2nd place, the Finn in 3rd. But at the halfway stage, this really has to be one of the most open heats in the history of World's Strongest Man. Perm 2 from 5, just 4 points between them. This is what a city looks like before anybody moves in. 6 years ago, this was a massive rubber plantation. Now, it's about to be the most state-of-the-art city on the planet.
This is Putrajaya, just half an hour from Kuala Lumpur, which in 8 years' time will house no fewer than 350,000 people. No traffic problems at the moment. In fact, there's just one thing on the road.
An amazing backdrop for this event. One of the all-time favourites in World's Strongest Man, the lorry pull. I just wonder, after this event, how favourite it will be with the competitors. Juha-Matti Räsänen. I think this guy could have an advantage here, being so tall. 30 metres the distance, 13 tons the lorry. The start always important. I tell you what, he wants to get lower than that if he's going to have some real impact on this lorry, but he's away now. Heading towards the first marker, 10 metres. Wearing climbing boots. I remember the first time I saw an athlete wearing climbing boots about 10 years ago. It made a great difference, and all the guys do it now. Räsänen, those arms working overtime. Still not going too low, but certainly setting a marker here for everybody else. 13 tons of lorry rolling down now. Räsänen's got to keep it going. The front of that lorry has to go over the white line. I reckon this is a good target for everybody else. And that is a good time for Räsänen, 45.32. And as always, he's absolutely out on his feet. One thing is for sure, the heat and humidity is going to take its toll in this event.
It's awful because as we have Finland almost every day is the 20 degrees minus. And now is the, I think, almost 40 degrees. It's very hard.
At the end, you feel terrible?
Yeah, all the time I feel that very difficult. It's awful.
Well, Mark Iliff continued to battle heroically, despite having a trapped nerve, which meant he could only push off one foot properly. He knew his challenge was faltering, but he was brave to the end.
I'm pleased with that, 18 stone and a bad foot, a bad trapped nerve. So yeah, I'm just glad to finish it really. I just not like it if I don't finish things.
Well, Jarno Hams did finish things, 51.81 for the Dutchman, and bad luck for Heinz Olesch, 45.84, just outside Räsänen's time.
2 men left to go. Here's the first, Brian Schoonveld, absolutely psyched up. He wants the crowd to get involved as well. I'll tell you what, after that last victory, he really has put himself in as a contender. So if he can get this lorry away and rolling, it could be good news for the American. He's never made the final of World's Strongest Man. He's certainly one of the most competitive animals I've ever seen in strongman competition. And he would love to make it through to the final, and he's going well. It's still the 45.32 seconds by Juha-Matti Räsänen. That's the target. Over halfway. That lorry beginning to accelerate just a little bit. That shows you just how fit these guys are, as well as being incredibly strong. He's looking relaxed. He's staying low. He's getting faster. This is going to be so close. If he can go under 45, he's done it, and he has done it. Fantastic. 1 man to go, but Brian's in the lead.
Does your body feel like you're going to explode at some point then?
Yeah. This is one of the hardest events, I think. It's whole body, legs, arms. You get down to the last 10 meters, your legs are burning, your arms, your biceps, your backs are burning. Just got to put everything you got into it and pull like mad. Leading time right now. See what Raimonds Bergmanis can do. I think I can hold him off.
Well, what Raimonds Bergmanis could do was 52.09 seconds, not good enough to overtake the American, which meant it was a second victory in a row for Schoonveld. Räsänen second, Olesch third, Bergmanis back in 5th. For 5 of them, though, still everything to play for with 2 events to go. For Mark Iliff, it was the end of his challenge. His injury too serious, and he was advised to retire. Event 5 finds us in the shadow of the Petronas Towers.
It originated in northern Spain with farm workers carrying fruit round in a wooden box, and it was called the Basque Circle. Then it was the Stone Circle, the Boulder Holder, and in a way it's come full circle now, riding round in circles, you could almost say, with 2 bikes weighing 300 kilograms, that's 660 pounds, to be carried on the forearms like this and taken around the podium as many times as possible.
Juha Räsänen now. Those giant forearms have got to be so effective, but the grip is equally as important. Tries to keep it high on the chest. Once round is 30 metres. So the calculation should be easy. Let's not forget that Gregor Edmonds in the last programme set a phenomenal performance of 110 metres. That's 30 for the Finn. And of course Scandinavia have got a brilliant tradition in strongman competition. So Räsänen would love to make it through to the final, and in this heat it's so close between the top 5. Heading towards 70 metres now. 80, beginning to hurt. 3 times round. This is great stuff by Räsänen. It's getting lower. Those arms are beginning to ache now. The lactic acid beginning to burn the forearms and the legs. He's over 100 metres, around about 108. Another superb performance by Räsänen, and that is going to be tough to beat.
It was too much for Jarno Hams, despite a highly creditable performance by the Dutchman of 90.2 metres. For the giant German, Olesch, 49.7, and he almost hit the deck as well. But after 2 victories on the trot, for Brian Schoonveld, his challenge suddenly hit the buffers, 60.70 metres, and down went the bikes.
Raimonds Bergmanis has competed for Latvia at 3 Olympic Games in weightlifting. He loves and relishes this sort of competition, but what a target Räsänen has set. And another competitor here who's got a chance of making it through to the final. Coming up to 30 metres, looking skywards for divine inspiration somehow. He's looking good, short, sharp steps, solid as a rock. Coming up towards 60. Just has a little quiet look there, down towards the ground. Now it's beginning to slip a little bit, but I tell you what, he's setting a cracking pace here. Jarno Hams has got 90 metres, and the Latvian goes ahead of the Dutchman now. In second place, but he wants maximum points. He's got about another 10 metres to go to beat Räsänen. But that bar is getting so low. This is going to be close. He's down, but I think he's done it by about a metre. Maximum points for Raimonds Bergmanis for the 2nd time in this heat.
How much pain were you in then?
It's after 3rd circle and 1/4 shaking, but I think about my family and did it.
And so, inspired by the folks back home in Latvia, Raimonds Bergmanis takes victory in the Basque Circle by less than a metre. And what it means with 1 event to go is there's just 4 points separating the top 5. Everything fascinatingly poised.
And so, beneath the tallest building in the world, we come to the most famous strongman event in the world, the Atlas Stones. 5 great rocks to be picked up and placed on this wall, but the key one is this, the 5th. 165 kilograms, that's 360 pounds. Get that up and you're in with a real chance of making it through to the final. 5 rocks, and amazingly, we have 5 men in contention going into this final event. So, can you get that 5th stone up?
Planning on it.
Heinz?
Yes.
Juha?
Oh.
Brian?
Always. I don't listen to questions.
Well, following Mark Eilif's withdrawal, Jarno Hams had to go on his own. 4 stones in 37.72 was the target for the rest to follow.
That was a pretty swift time by Jarno Hams for 4 stones, but now we've got Heinz Olesch, the guy with one of the biggest chests in the world. It's over 60 inches around. Juha Räsänen now, he's got a real chance, but he's got to go fast. Räsänen hasn't got the bulk of Olesch, but his long arms may be an advantage here. Now, up on the shoulder perhaps, yes for Olesch. A little bit of a different technique for Räsänen, but it's quick. 1 stone up. And the second. Oh my goodness, that was almost a calamity for Räsänen, but he's still ahead of Heinz Olesch. Heinz Olesch would have to do 5 if he's got any chance of making it through to the final. 37 seconds by Hams for 4 stones. That is the target for Räsänen, and he's destroyed it. So, Räsänen's got a real chance of making it through. We've still got Brian Schoonveld and Bergmanis to go. Can either of these two men do 5? If Olesch can do 5, he could beat Räsänen and make it through to the final. If Räsänen gets 5, surely he is in the final. Oh no! Well, Heinz Olesch giving it everything. I don't think he's going to be able to do this. That sticky stuff on his arms is dripping off in this heat. I think he's had enough. Räsänen as well. But the Finn is in the lead for the time being.
Do you think your 4 stones is quick enough?
I hope so. I hope so.
Are you going to watch or are you going to listen?
Just listen.
Well, here we go. Schoonveld has got a chance of making it through to the final, as does Bergmanis. But that time by Räsänen, 33.07 for 4 stones. The crucial target. Schoonveld, he'd love to make the final. He's never done it before. Bergmanis has been there before. So anybody who gets 5 stones is definitely in the final. That is for sure. Bergmanis is going like a train. We mustn't forget that these guys are not just strong, they're very fast as well. If you could see them sprint over 30 meters, you'd be amazed. 4 for Bergmanis in the fastest time. He is in the final. Schoonveld, he's missed that time, so he has to do 5. And that despite 2 victories earlier on by the American. Bergmanis on the far side, going for the 5th stone. Oh, that's well done by Brian Schoonveld, but he must be disappointed. Now, come on, Raimonds Bergmanis, one of the most popular men on the circuit. It's going to be close. Come on, Raymond, get it up, 160 kilos. Absolutely wonderful. Latvia will be in the final, and can the United States join him? Brian Schoonveld, if he gets this 5th one up, he's got a fighting chance. All credit to Raimonds for sticking around and helping, but time has run out. What a huge disappointment for the American, but in the end, Raimonds Bergmanis is number 1. Schoonveld down and out.
Great stuff. That meant an awful lot to you, didn't it?
Unbelievable. I never lifted last stones in my life. Never. But my last final 5 years ago, and I had it done. I'm absolutely happy, and absolutely happy. Unbelievable happy.
A happy Latvian and a happy Finn.
Thank you, Varna. Thank you. Jarno is my best friend. No.
Well, the joy of victory there for all to see in the face of Raimonds Bergmanis, and relief for Juha-Matti Räsänen, who thought maybe he was going to miss the boat. Immense disappointment for Brian Schoonveld, so near and yet so far. And what it means is that Raimonds Bergmanis and Juha-Matti Räsänen are through to the final of the Metrex Trophy.
Well, Raimonds, many congratulations for getting to the final, because as one of the most experienced men in strongman, it's a great moment for you, I know. I'll tell you something though, I know you're a big football fan as well. You get some amazing bargains down in Chinatown. I picked up this replica Man United shirt for just £5, and I got one for you too.
Manchester United is rubbish. I am a gooner!